Isaac versus Ishmael, the forgotten key to the Middle East conflict. In the heart of the Middle East conflict lies a story as old as time. Two brothers, Isaac and Ishmael, whose lives have shaped the future of entire nations. Their legacy continues to fuel one of the most complex and deep-rooted conflicts in history, the strife between Jews and Arabs. How did this ancient sibling rivalry influence the geopolitics of today? What lessons from their lives can help us better understand the present-day tensions that define the region, and what might this history reveal about the potential for reconciliation? The origins of Isaac and Ishmael. The story begins with Abraham, a figure revered in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. According to the Bible and the Quran, Abraham fathered two sons, Ishmael through Hagar and Isaac through Sarah. While Isaac became the forefather of the Jewish people, Ishmael is seen as the progenitor of Arab nations. But what happened between these two brothers that led to centuries of tension? From their birth in a divided household to their separate destinies, the seeds of future conflict were sown in these ancient moments, shaping their lives in ways that would influence entire civilizations. Biblical and Quranic perspectives. Both religious texts tell the story of these brothers, but with subtle differences. In the Bible, Isaac is favored by God as the child of promise. Meanwhile, Ishmael is sent away, but promised a great nation. The Quran, on the other hand, holds Ishmael in a more honored position. This divergence in their narratives set the foundation for different religious interpretations and claims to land and heritage. The question of which son was truly chosen by God has been at the heart of the religious divide for millennia, fueling both faith and animosity across the region. The legacy of the Promised Lands. The descendants of Isaac would go on to form the 12 tribes of Israel, with their promised land centered in Canaan, present-day Israel. Meanwhile, Ishmael's descendants are believed to have spread across Arabia. Both groups claim divine rights to their lands, creating a millennia-old struggle over who holds the true inheritance of Abraham. These lands hold immense spiritual significance, but they are also critical geopolitical hotspots. From the Temple Mount to the Dome of the Rock, every square inch is saturated with history and deep religious meaning, making compromise incredibly difficult. The historical rivalry, from biblical times to modern conflict. As the Jewish and Arab nations grew, so did their rivalry. This historical tension would erupt over the centuries through wars, conquests, and religious divides. The conflict reached its modern form with the creation of Israel in 1948, which many viewed as the fulfillment of the biblical promise to Isaac's descendants. For others, it was seen as a betrayal of Ishmael's legacy. The historical rivalry between the two groups is not just about land or resources, but about the very heart of identity, nationhood, and divine will. Both sides view themselves as fulfilling a long, sacred promise. The role of religion in modern geopolitics. Today, the narratives of Isaac and Ishmael still fuel religious and nationalistic fervor. Jewish, Christian, and Islamic ideologies play significant roles in shaping modern Middle Eastern politics. Both Israelis and Palestinians draw upon these ancient stories to justify their claims to the land. Religion is not just a backdrop, but a powerful force driving the politics of the region. From the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to broader tensions between Arab states and Israel. In a world where faith and governance often overlap, the stories of Isaac and Ishmael remain pivotal, influencing decisions, policies, and alliances. A path to reconciliation. Can the descendants of Isaac and Ishmael find a way to coexist? Some believe that understanding the shared heritage between Jews and Arabs could be a step toward reconciliation. While the Middle East conflict is political, economic, and territorial at its core, the religious narratives can either deepen the divide or pave the way to peace. In recent years, peace agreements such as the Abraham Accords have hinted at the possibility of a future where the shared ancestry of Isaac and Ishmael can be the foundation of new relationships and lasting harmony between their descendants. Conclusion: the forgotten key. Isaac and Ishmael's story is not just an ancient tale, it is a key to understanding the underlying dynamics of the Middle East. While the struggle continues, it's essential to remember the shared history that binds these two great nations. Will this key unlock the door to peace, or will it remain a forgotten chapter in an ongoing conflict? Perhaps the path forward lies not in the separation of these two legacies, but in the recognition of their intertwined fates as brothers who once stood together and whose descendants may one day do the same.